Today is November 11th, 2024. So, this is a great day. Whenever I see ones, it's a reminder, whenever I see the pattern of ones in my experience of life and how it's showing up for me, how it's unfolding before my eyes in each moment, right? And everything is constantly changing. So I'm actually experiencing grief of loss in every moment, with every breath, right? I'm never going to get that same breath back. So I'm actually experiencing a loss of even my breath every time I breathe. And today is 11/11. So here's the pattern of ones. Whenever I see ones in my life, it's the reminder that to trust in the decisions that I'm making in my life, and recognizing that I'm having choice in every moment of how I feel, of what I want to do, of what I get to do, right? If it's on my schedule. And so I encourage you, today is a great day to create a Bhavana. So I learned from my teacher, David Adams, shouts out. And in my yoga teacher training, I studied yoga therapy with David Adams. And we learned the Krishnamacharya tradition. So I learned how to create a Bhavana. A Bhavana is a dream board in written form. So, for example, it's 11/11 and it's 11/11/24. So now in my Bhavana, I'm going to actually write in the future, and I'm going to collapse the timelines of existence, of potential, of possibilities, collapse the wave of timelines. And when I'm writing about my experience in my journal in the future, I'm actually writing in past tense, right? It's already happened. That potential of possibility has already happened, right? And so now I'm collapsing the timelines. So for example, a Bhavana is a form, it's like an opportunity to embody who you want to become, who you want to be. So, for example, here's an example. Today is New Year's Day. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. I had the best time last night. But what's really showing up for me really strong in my big open heart is this opportunity to connect with 3 beautiful humans who, in the past 8 weeks, they have been able to transform their experience of how they perceive life with recognizing that they are the observer of their thoughts and emotions and how they feel, and they got to advocate to be their own doctor, and they use the innate wisdom toolbox that I showed them in what I call is the playful path portal. I'm holding their hand and guiding them through this portal to be their own doctors and diagnose their own symptoms, and then open their medicine box, which is what I call the innate wisdom toolbox. And everyone can create one. This is something that is accessible to everyone. And within this innate wisdom toolbox is medicine to help you diagnose your own symptoms. So, for example, if you're having a really intense monkey mind, right? You go in your innate wisdom toolbox and you're like, what are some of my medicine options? Meditation, yoga, breath work, right? Let me try one of those and see if it works. And and if it doesn't work, I'll put that one back and get a different one out and go exploring with something different. And here's another one, grief, right? If I'm feeling intense grief, it's coming in strong. My grief, I call her Greta. So I'm actually in my innate wisdom toolbox of medicine is making friends with my emotions, right? It's something that I teach. It's something that I advocate for, because the moment that we feel an intense emotion and we push it away, it actually just gets louder and bigger and right in your face. So in that place of like, okay, let me bring out the tea and crumpets for my grief named Greta. She's showing up right now. Might need some tissues too. I actually tend to do a lot of crying when Greta shows up. And actually crying is a toolbox, or crying is medicine in the innate wisdom tool, in my innate wisdom toolbox, right? Maybe you can add crying to your innate wisdom toolbox, but it's very, very so healing for me, so liberating. It's a form of release. You know what else is a form of release? Pooping. Pooping is a form of release. Sweating is a form of release. Primal screaming is a form of release. Laughter. Ha 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 ha. I love laughing. Honestly, I would say laughter is the best medicine. That one is at the top of my toolbox, actually, because I use it so often. There it is, right there. She's showing up strong. So, innate wisdom toolbox. Here's another example. Physical sensations in my body. Like right now I'm feeling pretty good, but how do I go exploring in my body if my pain, which I don't even call pain anymore, I call it a sensation that is unpleasant, an area of my body that has room for improvement. And so I'm like, okay, right now in this moment, I'm not necessarily feeling any intense pain or any intense sensations. See how I catch myself? I'm flipping the script. So flipping the script is a medicine in the toolbox. Everything is medicine. So breathing, getting myself back to the present moment, right here, right now. Sensations. The other day I had a strong sensation in my back, and I realized the moment that, like, I noticed it, and then I was like still on my phone doing something, and I went outside and sat in the sun, and then it was like came in at me pretty even stronger, and I was like, ooh, okay, time to put the phone down, and I'm gonna go address this sensation in my back. So the moment that I'm like, okay, pause and get present with my pain, you know, and I ask, pain, what's your purpose right now? What are you trying to tell me, right? What's the message? And immediately my pain said, go lay down and rest and do nothing. So I actually laid down and I put my feet up on my stool, on my inversion stand, and then I have a really great pillow, which is I have this really great pillow that actually supports the cervical spine, and it helps decompress and create space in between the cervical spine. So I do like a legs up the wall or a legs on a stool, and I put my head in this really nice, beautiful pillow, right? Here is medicine in my innate wisdom toolbox. This is something physical, though, that, you know, I can just sit down right here. And I started diagnosing my own symptoms, and I reflected and I said, pain, why are you here? And it's like, oh, remember you went for that hike and you were wearing that backpack that doesn't necessarily support your posture, and you went for a run and then you did that hike wearing this backpack? And I was like, oh yeah, okay, gotcha. So it was like the backpack was too heavy and it didn't necessarily support, you know, the adventure that I was on in that moment. So that was why it showed up, right? And so what do I learn from that? If I'm going to take like a long hike, right? I actually have a really nice backpack like for hiking, and it supports me at my hips, and it supports me. It has little clips right here, right? It's my rock climbing bag, and so I can get that out. It's time to get that out because I've been going on a lot of adventures lately. And I'm like, okay, I need to just get it out, pull it out from my garage, which is under the bed, and use that. And so I was like, okay, well, that's why it showed up. So now I understand why it showed up and how I can do things differently to support my body in the future. But now that I'm like in the present moment and I was still feeling that sensation, I was giving myself a scale of 1 to 10. And I was like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how intense is the pain? And it was like a 10. It was like strong. And that's why I was like, no more, I gotta go lay down. And so when I was laying down with my feet up and in this pillow, I breathed. I breathed. I connected to my body. I connected to my breath. I surrendered. I let go. I softened every single muscle in my body on a cellular level, right? Complete relaxation. And I had a brain huddle with the 4 characters in my brain to get everyone back online and making sure I'm feeling supported and that I'm in my parasympathetic mode of my, brain that feels safe in my body, safe in my environment, checking in, like, is my heart open right now, and then I was like, yes, I'm in rest and repair mode. And okay, so then I did another evaluation and I was like, this feels good. And so then it actually went down to I think a 5 or a 6 immediately, like within a few minutes of laying down like this in this place. And then I was like, well, it's still a 5 or 6. Like, what else can I do? So then here's my other innate wisdom toolbox of medicine. And what do I pull out? My body lever. So this is handmade and you can get it on Instagram. I met the guy. I talked to the guy who made these, and when I saw someone else using these, I was like, oh, it's a fuck yes. So I immediately went on to his website and bought a pair. I think it's around 150, and then you pay for shipping. But what I did, I was still laying down with my feet up in the pillow, and then I ended up putting this little knob under my back like this. Yep, and I found the perfect spot for it as I was laying down on it, and then breathing and gently moving, finding the spot that needed some extra support. And after I used these, it went down to a 2, a 1-2. Right? And so I would say I was probably laying there for about 30 minutes. And it was just okay, feeling good now. I can go get up, and my character 1, who is the part of me, I call her Sassy Sally. She's on schedule. She's got my to-do list and she's getting shit done, right? So Sally comes through and she's like, can we go do something that's on the schedule, that's on the to-do list now? And I was like, yeah, I'm feeling better. Okay, let's go do that. This is the conversations I'm having with myself. So another thing that you can use with these, just while I'm showing you, is you put one under your arm, and they're attached with some rope right here. So they're attached together so you can offer yourself some resistance. But I have one under my arm here and then one here. Now I can either keep the knob away or dig it into my body here, right? Right now in this moment, I'm gonna just kind of roll on my neck here and give myself a massage in the traps and the upper back. Ooh, yeah. Now that I'm doing this, I am definitely feeling some strong sensations, right? But I'm actually a masochist, so I experience pleasure in what they call pain. So I'm going to just do the other side. But highly recommend Body Lover to, support yourself, right? And I am a body worker, so I realized that most people, if I go to get a massage, like the quality of body work that I give on other people is hard to find, actually, to give myself, for me to receive. But actually, speaking of that, I just recently got a massage at the beach in Santa Monica by Delicious Drew. Drew Rivers, shouts out. And yes, I got a massage from him, and it was just like definitely in the top 10 of like best massage I've ever had. It's so great. All right, so I'm putting these down, and this is just a example of my internal dialogue and how I live my life, and recognizing that I am my own doctor, and my own innate wisdom knows how to heal itself. I'm my own chiropractor, right? I have what they call the brand is called Feet Up, but it's an inversion stand, which I'm actually sitting on. I use it as a chair. It looks like you can sit in nature and take a poop in it, but I don't. You actually put your neck in here like this. And if you're on the ground, then you can kick your feet up. So that's why it's called Feet Up. Look at it. It says switch perspective. Switch perspective. Yeah. This is really special for me to just share this dialogue and this wisdom, this transmission, right? So what's interestingly enough is AKA Devante, I just met him yesterday, and he saw my antennae. He saw the alien, the Aquarian that I am, and he describes the language that I speak is Akashic light language. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's what I'm doing. Great. Good to know. Now I have some language to share that with others. And, this is something that it's not even something that like you learn. It's something you remember, right? We are all God consciousness. We are all connected to everything, everywhere, right? But as we move throughout our life, we hear other people telling us what to do, right? And we have society and our parents and our boss and our friends, right? So it's like all this external noise that makes you confused about your own internal dialogue, your own truth, right? Sat Nam is truth is my identity. So in that place of like, is my identity based off of external sounds, external noise, or is my truth based off my internal sound, right? And this is where chanting, which is part of your innate wisdom toolbox of medicine, right? Chanting is medicine, right? On a scientific level, it's vibrating your voice box, stimulating your vagus nerve, which activates your parasympathetic state of your nervous system, which is that part of you that feels safe in your body, safe in your environment. Your heart is open. They call it rest, digest, heal, and repair mode. So I call it rest and repair for short. So that's where we're at today. And I'm going to just close this transmission with, I love you. I see you. I am you.